Okay, ebusuya be makwaba shonko so edeba POG Media so. Yede meko political highway ne so highway ne de ensem bebre wo so ayen so ya Japan se be me abedwafo no ahode eko ene de eba ebusuya mama ye mbonwura mu nko eye dome Kwabenya constituency ebusuya nyoma ekoso no enye ensem ketua eye chaos a echese ekoso tension e wo no enye easy cry eye electoral commission e de ababonten say omobe ye re-election ewo sa constituency no polling station ni bi o ha omobe ye sa re-election ewo ho na we ena ache say NDC officials and as NDC gurus no omo ababonten omo che say omo nti ase ne enti ase china sa constituency no and as a polling station no omo NDC amanuku no omo awe ne wo ho a chese omo ntena ho emma eye electoral commission emma ye frakadam bia ho na omo cramp no omo calculations a omo ye ni nyina chese omo resource no omo electoral commission ashida reduce omo resource na omo nyai wo dome Kwabenya no because of party HSA electoral commission party interest in no omo ashada reduce omo resource na omo nyai no ewo dome Kwabenya ama just NPP numbers no akosrete say omo che electoral commission say calculations kra no omo nim calculation because NDC for no Dr. Rashid Tanku ono no e basta yenye sa yenye collation a chese yenke kan yo mamboma abusua ono de onimdi na omo so chese NDC for ne chese sa gaba eda omo ne NPP ntem no omo ama NPP gap almost be 1154 ena omo de train NPP amanukun entino say rerun of election de omo nti ase ne enti ase china pink sheet no omo de omo pink sheet aba bibia chese records na was bibia chese NDC arena elections no ewo dome Kwabenya abusua yense mo mre no me enko na yenkonkuti ensema e course na answer na ebeko no or and some can be afashe a comment section like na share ma afofron so answer into me and can be a POG Media so political trending stories are a make waves no yen so yaja to me say ye de bebremo bedamase.
Has happened. The expectation is that there will be a rerun of some sort. Are you satisfied with the process thus far, and how is the party preparing for that rerun in that polling station?
Well, let me make it very clear. We have not reached any final conclusion on this yet, because they themselves have problem with their additions. The additions they came out with, it's not a true reflection of what happened. You remember when they did the declaration on the D-Day, interestingly enough, they had soft copies of the results of the 3 polling stations, and they declared Madam Akuffo by 51,000 plus, and Makukwe had 50,000. So there was a difference of 1,154. Very huge difference. So today, if you are having problem with one polling station, that one polling station should be taken out, and that one polling station total votes are 689. So when you take out 689 from 1,157, your guess is as good as this is a simple arithmetic. You see the problem I have with this commission. So when you take out 689 from 1,157, your guess is as good as this is a simple arithmetic. You see the problem I have with this commission. They always have a problem with arithmetic. That's their problem. So they said they would rely on a laptop to do calculation. Do we do electronic calculation in Ghana? Our results are manual. We go by the pink sheets and we go by the collation form. The collation form is what is known as the Form 1C. Then the summary sheet is the Form 1D. So we have taken the Form 1C. We'll do the calculation for them and bring it back. These people are
so what? Your votes have been reduced?
Completely. We completely disagree with it, because on the face of it, they themselves know that when you declared her, she was leading with about 1,154. So if you are expanding one, and the one total votes is 689, this one is a primary school mathematics. It's not algebra. So it's not logarithm.
You feel that the 165 is a decrease in your calculation?
Of course they have problem with arithmetic. We are going to do the calculation and bring it back. We told them they should hold their horses. We are doing the calculation ourselves. our opponents also pick one. They should also go and enter. We'll go and enter. Simple Excel sheet, and we'll get it.
Doesn't mean that the NDC is not going to campaign.
There's no rerun. She has won.
The EC just told us. The EC just told us that there's going to be a rerun.
I am saying that they have a problem with their arithmetic. It's their own document. You remember when we did registration, they were doing wrong calculations. Quarrel draw people. I'm not surprised they've used quarrel. No, I'm saying we have won the election.
So that means you're not going to campaign back at Abokobi station?
Campaign, you are talking. I said we have won the election. You are talking. The document will show. Let's come back. We are coming back with it. We'll go and sit down, do the arithmetic for them.
Now, the Electoral Commission is set to rerun the parliamentary election at one polling station in Kwabenya to determine the final result of the December 7th poll there. The outcome of elections at Abokobi Women Development Center 2 polling station has come under contention as the EC indicated that the results were entered on an EC training sheet instead of the designated parliamentary results summary sheet. The situation has led to another suspension of the collation process at the Greater Accra Regional Collation Center. My colleague James Aveji has the rest of the story.
The Electoral Commission has yet again suspended the declaration of the final results for Kwabenya. Now, this is as a result of the Commission and the political parties not being able to take a decision on one outstanding polling station after collating 2 out of the 3 outstanding that were supposed to be looked at. Let's go back to the start of the process where there was disagreement and chaos among the parties as to the exact number of polling stations to be considered. So according to the NPP's parliamentary candidate, Akroma Jr., he was insisting that the EC should reconsider some 88 outstanding polling stations. According to him, when chaos erupted at the collation center at Kwabenya on the day of collation, the EC was left with 88 polling stations to collate. When the NPP had to abandon the process, they went further to collate 85 out of the 88 behind the back of the NPP, leading to the declaration of the NDC's Akuffo as winner. And so he was insisting that the parties should agree to collate 88 of the outstanding polling stations. This is the position of the NDC to his suggestion.
I said they choose to read different laws when it suits them. Regulation 48 of CI 127 says that the absence of a party agent or a candidate does not invalidate an action taken by the Electoral Commission. They should go and read. They are confused.
After the long battle and some sort of conclave between the NDC, the NPP, and the EC, they have agreed to go ahead with the 3 polling stations. But one of the polling stations still has a challenge, so it was agreed that it will be stepped aside and 2 of them, which had no issues, be recollated. And so at the end of the recollation process, the NPP's Kwabenya Jr. had some 50,567 votes, with the NDC's Akuffo getting some 50,732 votes, with a vote difference of 165. It was agreed that if they add the total voting population of the outstanding 3rd polling station, which is some 669 registered voters, to the result of the 2nd candidate, it would alter the final result. Deputy Commissioner in charge of training at the EC, Dr. Kwabenya, said the elections at the particular polling station in question at Abokobi Women Development Center 2 must be rerun for a final determination of the results.
669, meaning that if you give that number to the 2nd person, he will overtake the 1st person. So it means that you have to go and rerun election at that polling station. So that's the decision. So we are sending our report to the commission. Then the commission will take a decision on when it should be done. But you are sure that it will be done before they are inaugurated. Yes.
Here's a reaction of both the NDC and the NPP to the position of the EC.
the decision from the commission is that there's going to be rerun in that polling station, and that's what we are going to do.
We're going to see active campaigning from the NDC.
Everybody who is supposed to be on the register, the New Patriotic Party is going to reach out to them.
No, I'm saying we have won the election.
So that means I'm not going to campaign back at the Bokobi station.
Campaign, you are talking. I say we have won the election. The document will show. Let's come back. We are coming back with it. We'll go and sit down, do the arithmetic for them.
We wait on the EC to fix a particular date for this rerun for a final declaration of who the MP-elect for Dom Kwabenya will be. From the EC Coalition Center here in Accra, my name is James Sabeji reporting for Joy News.
Now, the Center for Democratic Development, CDD, is raising questions over the Electoral Commission's capacity to declare events that occasioned the recollation of parliamentary results for 9 disputed constituencies as an illegality. Deputy Commissioner in charge of corporate services at the EC, Dr. Bosman Asari, at a media briefing on Tuesday, defended its decision, citing some historical recollation antecedents to back the Commission's actions.
It has been stated by some people that the recollation the commission is doing is illegal. This is because the CI says after declaration you cannot recollate. We wish to state that this is false. It is important to note that the commission cannot uphold an illegality. What happened at the collation centers where the collations were done without all the polling station results and where people were held to the gun and knives cannot be legal, and the commission will not uphold this. It is important to know that this is time this has happened. It has happened before, and where the CIs are specific that you cannot recollect after declarations. We want to state that those declarations should follow due processes. Declarations that we do not recollect are those that follow due process. The current ones are an illegality and they cannot be upheld by the commission. The following are examples of recollations that took place after disruptions of the collations or declarations at the Electoral Commission under the leadership of our former chairman, Dr. Kwadwo Afarijan, in 2004. In Zabzugu Tatale, during the collation of the parliamentary election results, a mob attacked the collation center, destroyed all materials in sight, especially the statement of poll and declaration sheets, that's the pink sheets. In the attack, the DEO was beaten up and hospitalized at the government hospital. On the 24th of December 2004, the Dr. Kwadwo Afarijan-led Electoral Commission invited the parliamentary candidates of the MPP and the NDC to tender in copies of their statement of poll and declaration of result sheets, that's the pink sheet, for the collation process to be completed at the regional office in Tamale. The declaration subsequently took place in Tamale, the regional capital, instead of the constituency.
Now, speaking on News 5, former Tamale Central MP Inusa Fuseni has accused the Electoral Commission of creating a constitutional crisis in Ghana through its handling of disputed parliamentary election results. The private legal practitioner expressed concern over the EC's decision to comply with a High Court order for the recollation of results for 9 constituencies, describing it as both unnecessary and procedurally flawed. He stated that the EC's actions have exacerbated tensions and undermined the legal framework that governs electoral disputes.
Issue has not been resolved. It could not have been resolved. Now, because if you look at the electoral laws of this country, it seems the Electoral Commission has led us into a situation where we are now struggling as a country to extricate ourselves. Now, if you look at CI 127, and I've read your comment, it appears to me that there ought not to have been any rush at all into recollating the results of the disputed constituencies. Because the law, the CI, which is a CI of the Electoral Commission, clearly details steps that an aggrieved candidate in an election must take and how his rights accrues. That is after the results of the election in that particular constituency has been gazetted. Now tell me, Samson, all this hula baloo about mandamus compared to perform a duty that is imposed on it by law, which the Electoral Commission has refused to perform, or collating the results of an election, which of them could not have been achieved if we had simply we had simply waited for the results to be gazetted and the aggrieved party takes the matter to court? Which of it could not have been resolved? Now, we have been put into a constitutional crisis today because the EC appears to be the interested party in this case. And I've said when we were in Parliament in 2020, when the Electoral Commission appeared to answer questions on SAL, that it appeared to me then, and has since been confirmed by many people, that the Electoral Commission was acting as if they were a law unto themselves. Now just take the CEI 127. Even if there's a dispute where there is equality of votes, and there's a dispute as to whether or not one vote should be counted for either of parties with the equality of votes, it is not within the preserve of the Electoral Commission to determine that one vote.
Private legal practitioner Oliver Baka-Vormawo has expressed concern over the Electoral Commission's approach to managing disputes from the 2024 parliamentary elections. He described the Commission's actions regarding the recollation of contested results as hasty and procedurally flawed. His comment followed the Supreme Court's decision on Thursday, December 26, to unanimously quash recollation results for Tema Central, Ablikmanov, Tichman South, and Okaikwe Central. Speaking on News File, Mr. Vormawo questioned the EC's urgency in recollecting disputed results, a move he believes undermines judicial process. He further criticized the EC for filing the affidavit in court, opposing the mandamus application while simultaneously moving forward to gazette result for the affected constituencies.
The court has been approached on a mandamus application. And the mandamus requires that you make a showing that the Electoral Commission has either failed to collate or is refusing, after a reasonable demand has been made on it, or after a reasonable time, to collate. It is surprising to me that in the High Court proceedings, the EC, even though it has not said anywhere that it is refusing to collate, went ahead and did not oppose that point. So when we come back before the High Court, that question is going to arise again, and I think the NDC is going to be happen on that, which is that there's nowhere where the EC has said it is refusing or failing to do a statutory duty. And if there's no failure to, and there's no refusal to, this does not lie in terms of how law operates. Now, there's a bigger question as well centrally to this, which is the Commission's persistent recourse to policing the judiciary before a fait accompli, which for me is a strategy that seeks to undermine judicial oversight by putting in place what they consider to be reversible outcomes. And I'm speaking here, one, when it was a state of execution, it went ahead to collate those results. And the last week we talked about, we don't understand the rush. A rush which is not only just a rush, but is also offense law and procedure, which is that you cannot disrespect the courts when it's a pending application to stay. You can't take any actions. Secondly, and as you have pointed out in the beginning, the fact that the EC participated in the process, filed an affidavit in opposition, and yet went ahead to gazette those results. Again, another attempt to place the court before a fait accompli. This series of actions, for me, is something that we need to look at.
Now, Vice Chair of CDD, Clara Kezati, says the right forum to resolve the electoral disagreement is the court. She raises critical questions about the Electoral Commission's authority to declare electoral process illegal.
I think that there is an issue as to whether the EC has capacity to declare illegality. Is that something within the capacity of the EC to declare that there is an illegality? There's a difference between an error and an illegality. When you say that you have made an error, you admit it's a matter of fact that, oh, I have done, I've made this error and all of that. But if you are saying that something is illegal, it's a question of law. And whether or not the EC has the capacity to make that declaration in this case is a question I think the court should answer. And then, of course, yes, so this basically is an issue of capacity. Whether they do have that capacity, it depends if the procedure was followed. For me, it's the procedure that is important. If the procedure was followed, due process was followed. Sometimes a dispute might not even arise. Sometimes somebody says, can you do that? I say, yeah, sometimes you can do something. If nobody questions it, it goes. So you could have done, you show the evidence, everybody agrees that this is not well done. Should we do the recollation? We do the recollation. But if the issue becomes a situation where there is not consistency, in the past you say that this is the only circumstance in which we do recollation, and then in another instance we say, and you don't demonstrate the difference, you do leave room for people to be dissatisfied. Yes.
Now, former Majority Leader Oseche Mensah has described President-elect John Mahama's one-term presidency as a rare and unique opportunity to implement much-needed constitutional reforms to improve governance in the country. Speaking on Newsfile on Joy News, Mensah agreed with sections of expert assertion that Mahama's position as a one-term president presents the ideal chance for comprehensive constitutional review. This comes as the Constitutional Review Consultative Committee has submitted its report to President Akuffo Addo. He further stressed the historical context of Ghana's constitution, which was designed primarily to stabilize the nation after a period of turmoil.
Because it doesn't have any stake going forward. And nobody would accuse him of having manipulated the system to satisfy himself. So I think he has a very unique opportunity to really take us to where we want to get to improve our governance. To improve our governance, and not only just for that, but to ensure that this constitution becomes development-oriented. Unlike, the first instance, it was to stabilize the administration. And Clara sent us through the various hiccups that we have as a nation suffered. Now we are stable. I think we are plateauing. How do we improve on it?
Do you think that if this chance was missed in John Mahama's period, we will not see it again?
I'm no octopus Paul, but I don't want to believe in the first place that we are going to miss the boat. I think there's a lot of goodwill, and John cannot afford to miss the occasion, which is why I'm in alignment with what Baka Vomawo has said, that they want to keep the issues on the front burner. I would want to plead, though, that the first 3 months, he is talking about January, but the first 3 months, the president will have to put in place his cabinet. And Parliament, there's not much time. Parliament then will have to work on approving the ministers and so on and so forth. And then the budget will have to be fashioned for the country. So that the first 3 months will be a difficult terrain, a difficult period. But after that, maybe April, May, June, if he wants to do it, I'll really align with it. Except that if it's just to serve as a reminder to him that we want to
Abusunya wene ensema ekoso ewo political highway so eye electoral commission Mensah na ya chene se o reduce eye NDC amanyuku no omo resource no ewo dome Kwabenya eno na Dr. Rashid Tanko eba ya opuli ni pink sheet awaba be expose omo a ochese say elections na omo pese ekoso ewo some certain polling station no omo ntiase ne ntiase china omo no they have already won that polling station and as elections no ewo dome Kwabenya enti no Mike Okoye Junior ono no onkope baby enti na busuya wene ensema ekoso ewo political highway so ya beda masese moje pene kokoti sa audio no e de MI aha POG Media so beda masese